So, अस्तु प्रारम्भं करिष्यामः। नमः सर्वेभ्यः। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। हरिः ओम्। तो नमः सर्वेभ्यः सुस्वागतम्। गतसप्ताहे एकः श्लोकः दृष्टवन्तः।
नारीस्तनधनारि
दृष्टवन्तः। तत्र तं दृष्ट्वा मोहावेशौ किम् इति विचारं कर्तुं प्रारम्भं कृतवन्तः। What is moha and avesha? Nari stanabara nabi desham drishtva maga moha avesham etan mamsa vasadi vikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam iti drishtavantah. We saw this and then we said we started the chintana around moha and avesha. What is moha? What is avesha? And we got into a little detailed discussion. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara. Now, in fact, if we go back and think a little bit, we understand kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada and matsara in a relatively easy manner, right? It's what is krodha, anger, what is good anger, what is bad anger, when it should be there, when it should not be there. We understand these things relatively easily. It's sort of very inbound in us in a lot of ways whenever we face the world. Right? Anybody who disagrees with it? Right. Now, if I were to ask this question, instead of this, what should I replace these with? As we saw, Shama Damaadi Sampat. Now, that is a concept that we started figuring out. Maybe there is something more to it. There is something that I'm not able to grasp here. Right? So, I think we now understand the irony of the situation. What we should have, what we should ideally be doing, vis-a-vis what we are stuck with. Right? So, if we do not have that understanding, how do we move forward? That was the question that we were addressing last time. Shama Damaadi Sampat. We were looking at that. I'm assuming we are okay with continuing that discussion. Is that okay? We do want to understand that in more detail. Any thoughts and questions? Astu. Okay. Basavaraj Mohdaya, vaktum ichchati va?
No.
Okay. Okay. Before we proceed on that, I think we did some basic version of what is karma. Correct? Now, is everybody clear about it? Not the Vedanta students, but others. Is everybody clear about that concept of karma? At least the basic version. Should we do anything more on that on that thought process of what is karma and how work impacts, where it is, etc., etc. अग्रे कदापि पश्यामः एकवारम् अस्तु वा ओके अस्तु इदानीं let's continue, let's see where we or rather let's take a just start from where we let's do a little bit of पुनरावर्तनं कृत्वा अग्रे गमिष्यामः अस्तु वा we did this षड्डरिवर्गः प्रथमः दृष्टवन्तः कामः unwarranted desires. I am not talking of kama as a purushartha. Purusharte kim bhavishyate? Dharmat artha arthat kamah. And yagyasya vidhi you can get as much as milk your cow of desires is what Krishna has put out. Let that framework. Right? So then I also showed last week I also showed that framework of कामात् क्रोधो विजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. That is the 6-step process to self destruction, right? Then we said krodha is misplaced anger, not jatanoshasya bibhyati, which comes in Ramayana. So if there is krodha, but let's say the kid is not eating, the mother gets angry, that is not misplaced anger. The kid deserves to be hit and kid deserves to be fed. That is not misplaced. Please note. There is a level of misplaced anger generated out of not getting what we are desiring to get. Right? That is a misplaced anger. Now that is not something which is good. Right? Then there is greed. Greed, sarvada bhavitum na arati. It is not a good thing. Deluded state where you are unable to make decision with some level of discrimination, discernment, right? Then an inebriated state. Nobody wants to be in an inebriated state. Jealousy. So we said these are things that are unwarranted. Now, but these are very naturally appearing in all of us. So we said we need these to be replaced by certain things that are there, and we called it Shama Dama uparathi titiksha shraddha and samadhana. Now please note, these are not one-to-one mapping. Again, I want to make it very clear. Kama is not to be replaced by Shama or Krodha to be replaced by Dama. No, that is not how it goes. Only one-to-one mapping that you will get here is Mada to Dama. That is how to act in what should be your state when you are acting in something, right? So that is the question. That is this one that comes. Then we saw some basics of Shama. Shamaha tavat shravanadi vyaktirikta vishayebhyaha manasaha nigraha. Basically, perceiving external objects experienced by the senses without much biases by the mind. Holding on to the preconceived biases by the mind and then saying, okay, they exist, let them be happy. As long as I am not being impacted by it, I will take it with a level of equanimity. I'll act. It does not say I will not act, but it says I will take it. I'll not react to it. I'll respond to it. There's a difference between reacting and responding. So I will respond to it as the situation demands, but I'll take it for that present moment and leave it. It will neither be thought. It will not be thought about in future, or nor will I anticipate something sitting about it now. Okay, I'll not brood about the past, nor will I think about it in the future. So that is Shama. Then we saw, of course, this Panchendriyaha. We saw this. Atra, I don't think there are any questions around this. Nothing, no? We saw Dhamma, which is basically saying Indriya Nigraha. Basically, Indriya Nigraha is Dhamma. Vishayebhyaha paravartya sthapanam swaswa golake. So the ideal state that Krishna has given in Bhagavad Gita is Yada sambharate chayam purmonganiva sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyaha tasya pragya pratishtita. That's what Krishna says. So just like tortoise withdraws all its organs inside, and sometimes you see only some form of rock formation there. It does not want to engage with the world. It does not want to do anything. So it has withdrawn all its sense organs inside. So the same way, if we can withdraw all our sense organs inside, that concept itself, and observe ourselves, what is happening within, that is Dhamma. Then we saw Uparatihi. How do we engage in the world? Bhajya vrittehe eshoparattihi uttama. So basically, withdrawing the mind from thoughts, from unwarranted thoughts while acting. So I think I just elaborated a little about this. Then basically I talked about Pancha Karmani, Nitya Karma, Naimittika Karma, Kamya Karma, and then I also spoke about Nisheda Karma. So these are the 5 karmas that are defined in our Shastras. So basically, any form of gratitude, expressing your gratitude and saying, okay, I am thankful to so many things that I have come into this world, is what is Nitya Karma, that anybody and everybody needs to engage in. Then as the position that you hold as a father, son, mother, whatever, in this society, we are expected to do certain things. You need to give education to the children if you have children. If you're a child, you need to respect your parents. I mean, those sort of things that you take care of them when they're old. Naimittika karma. Okay. They are prakritika runaha. Shosha samskara, for instance. Okay. Then there are kamya karma bhavishyanti. Then Prayaschitta Karma and Nisheda Karma. I explained this in the last class what they are, and we had some discussion around it. Now, Uparati will expect that withdrawing the mind from all these without any, and doing work without any expectation. So essentially, all the Nisheda Karma will immediately go away. These two are interrelated, so the Kamya Karma and Prayaschitta Karma will go away. Yo yam yam bhaktya, that Krishna's shloka, which says, if you are going to be transactional, I'll be transactional with you. So this transactional business with the God in some sense, or I need something, so I will pray to the God for that. Those are the karmas that you will do. I will bribe something and get my way through. So those things will withdraw out. These two are not withdrawn no matter what. These two is a lifetime thing. You cannot be in a state of no work. So these will continue to happen. However, they will leave you over time. Karma will leave you. That's what we said last time. So sannyasa cannot be taken. You cannot take sannyasa. Sannyasa has to take over. So that form is uparati. So when that discerned work, that work which gets done is done with a form that is saying, yes, I need to do this. This is a natural process. It's a routine. It gets done. It's over. That's about it. So that is what is uparati. Okay. So up to uparati, then we also discussed titiksha. Okay. I'll just talk about nitya karma. What is nitya karma? Somebody asked about nitya karma last time. So we said here there are pancha runa. We are all born with 5 runas basically. So basically that is deva runa, rishi runa, pitru runa. We are born with 3. We add 2 more as we go along in life. This deva runa, rishi runa, and pitru runa is something that we are born with. Pitru is straightforward, understandable. All those we are eternally grateful to our parents that they brought us into this world. That is not that goes without saying. So that is something that the moment we are born, that is something, there is a runa associated with it. So then there is a rishi runa, that is basically Guru and Brahma. The reason why this cosmos exists and why we have come here. And then the deva runa, that is basically because of these 3, we come into this world and we are existing. As we go along, we interact with people, and there's an interaction with the Panchabhutas. Correct? So these Panchabhutas, we take a lot of things and we give a lot of things back. So there is a lot of exchange. So that is a Bhuta Rana that we get. And then we need to interact with people to live in a society. We need to interact with them. We need to get a lot of things. There is a lot of transactional exchange that happens. So as a result, we develop a runa, what is called a quote unquote debt. So in whatever forms you want to call it, right? So we take help. Basically, we take help. So how do you close this loop and say, okay, anudam bhavitum shakyate va, kada anudam bhavitum shakyate iti prashna. For that, our Rishi Munis, our ancestors designed a beautiful framework called Panchayagyaha, Nityakarmaha or Panchayagya, Panchamahayagya. So the Rishi Runa is taken off by the study of Shastra, Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam na Pramatitavyam. Start studying your Shastras. Be well versed in the Shastras that you come under. Now, if you are a Kshatriya, you have a set of Shastras for you. If you are a Brahmana, you have a set of Shastras. If you come under the Vaishya, you have a set of Shastras. Everybody has something or the other that comes to you as your lineage. So understand that and make sure you are not just having that, but you are passing on to the generation after you. That is Brahma Yajna. Do that as a Brahma Yajna. Now here Yajna again, as we discussed last time, it is not, having a fire in front of you, putting ahuti into it, etc., etc., etc. That's one form of Yajna which goes on, which is good. But there is a larger, deeper concept to it. Okay. That is Brahma Yajna. Then there is Deva Yajna. Worship your Ishta Devata, your Kula Devata. Do that, but do that with a sense of no expectation. Zero expectation. Just as an expression of gratitude for whatever has happened, for being born in that family, for being there, for having been around. So that is Deva Yajna. Pitra Yajna. Ancestors, we do the Pitrakarya and so many things, Tarpana and all the aspects that is done. Okay. Then Manushya Yajna. Atiti Devo Bhava. Standard, you take anybody who, Yasya Titihi Nasti Sa Atiti. So take care of them. Then Daridro Narayana. That is what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say. So if a beggar comes to you, it is not the beggar, you are not doing the beggar a favor by giving him something. But the fact that he has given you an opportunity to serve him, that is the part of Manushya Yajna. That is our Sanskriti, that is our concept. That I am so grateful that you have come to me to take something that I am able to give you. So that is a part of Manushya Yajna. Then Bhuta Yajna. So many things you prepare, so many times, the first thing that you prepare, you go give it to something outside, you put it to the ants, you put it to crows, etc., etc., etc. Bhuta Yajna, you do that and leave it there. Okay. So all this is part of, a part of it is from Taittiriya Upanishad, which comes as Swadhyayan ma pramadaha satyan pramatitavyam dharman pramatitavyam kushalan pramatitavyam bhutyay pramatitavyam swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramatitavyam devapitrakaryabhyam pramatitavyam Matradevo Bhava, Pitradevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. So until this, all this, the larger principle is expressing gratitude. So if you can bring down all your entire span of work that you are doing in this world to this whole, just this simple concept of only expressing gratitude, then you have attained uparathi. So it is not something that is done overnight. It is not something that is done when you are responsible and it goes on. So Naimitika karma happens in parallel. I'm not saying withdraw from Naimitika karma. But then if you can withdraw from the others, Kamya karma, Prayashchitta karma, etc. and then say I am only in these two states now. And even in some sense you can even withdraw from the Naimitika karma. You are done. and then you attain that state of only Nitya Karma that I do and I am closed with it. That brings you to a state of uparathi. Clear? Any questions around till this point? Shama, Dama, titiksha. Okay, titiksha also we discussed. So let's also see titiksha and before we stop. Okay. We said titiksha was Shitoshnadi Dvandva Sahishnuta titiksha. All situational pain without any suffering. So in the first class we discussed pain and suffering. There are two concepts. One is pain, one is suffering. Right? Now, there will be pain. As human beings, there is no way pain is a bodily function. If the temperature is too high, if you have not had water, if something has gone wrong, the pain will naturally you'll get some fever. Or if say for instance you hit a rock, your skin will bleed and you will find pain. Without taking that into a suffering state, if you can attain that, I'll absorb the pain and live with it. Whatever you need to do for that pain, you will do it. It's not like you'll ignore the injury that's been caused, but you will not suffer because of that injury. It could be internal, where it is your mind is hurt, or whether it is physical hurt. Either of them. Sahanam sarvadukkhana apratikara purvakam chinta vilapa rahitam. So this is chinta and vilapa. You will not do chinta and vilapa around that pain. How many of us can do it?
Mahodaya, suffering in the sense complaining in that way you are saying.
See, complaining is only what is complaining?
It's an expression of the suffering.
Symptom. Complaining is a symptom. Okay, that is a symptom of pain, and that complaining is because you see that it is a suffering. Now, let me flip that for you. You need some help when you are in pain because you are yourself not able to handle that pain. Correct? You need a doctor to address it, for instance. Right? It's a natural thing. Now, if you go to the doctor and start cribbing about how this pain happened and who caused this pain and how dare this happen, now that is complaining. Then you have got into a state of suffering. Suppose you go to the doctor and say, look, I have this, please help me solve this problem. Right? Then you are accepting pain. You get that difference?
No, and that regarding Sidoshna, Sukha Dukkhanam, that Sidoshna, it's hot, no rain, and like that type of complaining. I'm asking in that way.
Okay, I get that problem. What you are talking about is, can I overcome it by instead of so that's where the suffering should not be there. Can you? Okay, so this is where this beautiful shloka from Bhagavad Gita is also there. Matras parshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agama paino anityaha tans tikshasva bharata. Now the hidden message here is, okay, let us say you get there is a thorn. There's a thorny plant all around. Right? You go step on it. The thorn will prick you. Right? Now, does it mean that every day you'll keep stepping on it and keep walking on it?
No.
What will you do?
That awareness will be there. We will not go.
There is awareness. Either you will avoid it or you'll pluck it out and throw it if it is within your control. Or as Chanakya says, pour a lot of milk, ants will come, eat it and go away. So that way you have done a very mahat karya for everyone. Right? So first of all, you have given the ants, you have got a lot of good karma because ants came and eat it. Lot of people are not going to step on it. And you did not even hurt yourself in plucking it and throwing it away. Right? Now, that is a difference in attitude that needs to be developed. The alternative to that is you can keep cribbing. How dare they grow a thorny plant around my house or in my way? How can this happen? Okay. If you keep cribbing and complaining about it, then you have internalized that you are suffering. Right? There are two options for you. You can avoid and walk out. But if it is not within your control, you can't do much. If it is within your control, you can get it out.
Within
Right.
our control, we can solve that problem. Without our control, we have to.
You have to face it. You have to face it. Face it without suffering, without complaining, or find a way to overcome it. That's what. So essentially, if you look at it in a very, very crude term, moving from a very negative attitude base to a positive attitude base. That's what it is moving you to. Right.
Okay.
It's like saying why is it I got hurt because why did I go there? Hurting yourself by the questions of why it happened to me. Why me?
So
Always keep asking.
Yes, why me? That why me is a very. This is what you avoid. That why me? That titiksha will naturally develop. You avoid that question. Why me? This is a natural thing. That is an external thing. So it can go the other way also. I'll give you another example. Somebody may like a lot of sweets, right? Love sweets. Keep on eating sweets. Okay. Now, some random day doctor says, now you have developed some sort of diabetes, now stop eating it. Right? So, then what do? Either you can say, okay, I accept it, or you can start that why me state. I love so much of sweets. Why is God unkind to me? Right? You can say, I'll solve this problem. Big deal. It's not a big thing. Right? We should have taken care of it by exercising, not getting into the diabetic state. By the way, diabetes and sugar does not have much relationship. That's a different. That's for some other day's discussion, not for today. But yeah, I'm just giving you this one. Accepting the situation the way it comes to you, and living with it, and then accepting and saying, okay, I will not suffer for this. I will ensure I don't suffer for this. That is what is titiksha. Okay. Can we move on? We have done 4 now. Shama, Dama, Uparathi, and titiksha. Okay. Agre Gamishyamaha. Next one is a very beautiful thing. Shraddha. Now, Shraddha, I think we can spend a full year talking about Shraddha. But Mrinalini Mahodaya, यत्किमपि वक्तुम् इच्छति वा?
आमां तत्र विवेकचूडामणौ तत्र यत् अस्ति खलु सहनं सर्वदुःखानाम् अप्रतीकारपूर्वकं तत्र अप्रतीकारपूर्वकम् अर्थात् प्रतिकारं न करणीयम् इति वा?
प्रतीकारम् उत्तमं प्रश्नः. अन्तर्मनसि प्रतिकारं न करणीयम्.
एवं
बहिः यत्किमपि कर्तुं शक्यते चेत् करोतु, निवारयतु. अत्र पश्यतु, मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखदाः. This is, if you understand the context for this, we'll understand this better. What was Arjuna's problem? He was suffering inside, thinking he is going to kill all the people. That was his problem in the war scenario. Satyam va?
Satyam.
There, Krishna says, you do your duty. You need to kill them, get rid of them. Move on. Don't internalize and keep on, thinking about this whole thing and keep suffering about it. Apratikara-purvakam, antarmanasi apratikara-purvakam. Bahihi yatkin karaniyam, tat karaniyam eva. A good example is, if a doctor starts saying, how can I cut this patient? Such a beautiful skin. If the skin will not grow back, then there will be a scar. How will it work? An operation has to be done, no?
Evam.
A mother says, how... Vadatu.
कृष्णः वदति अर्जुनं प्रति तत् तितिक्षा एव
तितिक्षा एव
तितिक्षा कुरु इति वदति सः तर्हि
तितिक्षस्व भारत अत्र अस्ति किल
आमामामाम्
तदर्थमेव लिखितवान् मया
तत् उपार्धं किञ्चित् गायसि वा आगम
अपायिनः अनित्याः एते सर्वे अनित्याः सन्ति someday it will be hot, someday it will be cold. Can you control that?
No.
So someday you may like the weather, someday you may not like the weather. They're all anitya. That is not nitya. I cannot predict tomorrow my day. Tomorrow morning in many places I woke up from the right side of the bed and the whole thing can go for a toss. The whole day can be, I can blame it on me waking up from the right side of the bed. Or I woke up from the left side of the bed, so my day is bad. I can keep suffering because of that. Or somebody else was there in the bathroom in the morning when I had to go. Finish. The day can be ruined because of that. Correct? These are all external things that keep happening. So that's what Krishna is saying. Matra here refers to tanmatrani.
तर्हि अत्र तितिक्षस्व इस् नामपदं न धातुरूपं तितिक्षस्व लोट् लकारस्ति वा
तितिक्षस्व त्वं तितिक्षस्व न अत्र धातु एव दिस् इस् कृदान्त दिस् इस् क्रिया एव
कर्मणि लोट् इस् आल्सो तितिक्षस्व नो
न कर्तरि एव तितिक्षस्व कर्तरि एव भविष्यति तितिक्षस्व गतसप्ताहे दृष्टवन्तः वा I'll bring that example तितिक्षस्व
तर्हि आगामि
तितिक्षस्व मध्यमपुरुषे
आगम अपायिनः तर्हि आगम अपायिनः नित्यः तर्हि आगम अपायिनः नित्यः भवति तान् अनित्यः आमामाम् अनित्यः तान् तितिक्षस्व
एकवारं पुनः पदच्छेदं करिष्यामि पश्यतु मात्राः कर्ता that is प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचने मात्राः स्पर्शाः तु मात्राः स्पर्शाः कुर्वन्ति ओके कौन्तेय हे कौन्तेय शीत उष्ण सुख दुःख दाह so whenever there is a da in the end I'm sure you know it means that giving something that gives datavyam da okay jalada one which gives water okay that is jalada is basically your clouds right shita ushna sukha dukkha daha one which gets shita ushna sukha api dukkha dasyante ke dasyante matraः स्पर्शाः तु शीत उष्ण सुख दुःखाः आगमिष्यन्ति सत्यं वा मात्राः के तन्मात्राः that is your स्पर्श sorry शब्द स्पर्श रूप रस गंध कटुवाक्यं केपि वदिष्यन्ते you go on a street somebody will say hey how dare you you look like a bull you are going somewhere shabda sparsha somebody will come just you are going on a busy street somebody will come just push you and walk past you astu that is sparsha rupa so you are going somewhere there is some fire being lit you go past it and then you don't see it you get hurt you go beside somebody there is the whole thing all the organic waste people keep taking away waste and then you walk past it the ganda is very bad okay So these are the tanmatra. Because of this tanmatra, your indriyas are yada tanmatra indriyanam sparshanam kurvanti. When they touch your indriyas, when they in some sense sparsha atra touch, when they interact with the indriyas, kaunteya, shita utna sukha dukkha daha, they come and go, right? Agama apayinah anityaha, te agama apayinah anityaha santi. Tan, because of that, tvam titikshasva. Hey Kaunteya, tvam titikshasva. Hey Bharata, tvam titikshasva. You take it as a titiksha. You just say, okay, they will come. So what do I do? Don't suffer. Take an action that will either avoid or get rid of it or do whatever. But don't keep suffering because of this.
एवं सो उपरिति अनन्तरं तितिक्षा वर्तते उपरितिः अनन्तरं
uparathi. So what happens is uparathi, as I said, this is an order. In Yoga Sutra, if you read, these come in yama niyama, this come in yama niyama, and then this comes in an order, which says, you can, if you have shama, basically if I go back here, see, what is shama? There are things outside. Your mind is not in your mind. You keep seeing things. You're not going to let your mind be affected. You have a manas nigraha. Okay, I keep saying all these things. Okay. Then Dhamma is saying, I'll make sure my senses are not going to go there. Right? Then Uparati is saying, in my actions also, I'll make sure my mind is only involved to the extent of it being in the present. As much as thoughts need to be made for what needs to be made, that's all. Beyond that action, I withdraw myself out. Then you go a step further and say that I will develop titiksha. Whatever happens, no matter how much of a pain comes, I will not suffer because of that pain. Right? So in the case of Shama, there was no pain. You are just observing everything around. Now in this case, you are saying, I'll accept the pain also. Satyam va? Avagatam?
Avagatam acharya.
Astu. Agre gamishyamah va? Yatkimepi prashnaha santi va? अन्य के भी प्रश्नाः सन्ति वा? प्रश्नाः न सन्ति चेत् अग्रे गमिष्यामः एकवारम्. Okay, next is shraddha. Anybody wants to define shraddha to me? Astu. It takes somebody who is not answered. Shalini Mahodaya, vaktum ichchati va?
I think shraddha is not really belief, because belief is vishwas. Shraddha is something greater when there is there's an intellectual understanding also of why you believe in something, and you are ready to abide by it. I don't know. Yeah.
So okay, then the obvious question comes: should I not question if I have shraddha?
Should I not question myself if I?
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I need to think about it.
We'll come to that. That's the question we need to answer. Right? Anybody else? Astu. Ramya Mahodaya, bhavati vaktum ichchati va?
Shraddha is faith, I mean, Mahoday. As I faith. Faith.
Fate is not shraddha.
Once you accept something and you believe that, yeah, it is, I feel it, that may be shraddha. Through that you can ask the question.
Through that you can ask the question. Okay. Faith. Okay, you are saying faith. Okay, we will come to that point of faith. Hold on. Sandhya Mahodaya, bhavati vaktum ichchati va?
Dedication.
Dedication. Dedication is a little different. That is not Shraddha. Okay. Basavaraj Mahodaya. Stiva? Nasti. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Shraddha can be, what you can say is the attention.
Attention. Good point. We'll see what attention means. Chitra Mahodaya bhavati hastam unnitavati.
Actually, Mahodaya, I want to share regarding Shraddha actually. Full asking question is related to that subject, not testing the guru in that way and all correct. Whether we not the way how we are living right now, and sometimes the guru expectation, sometimes it is very difficult to follow. That time it means its Shraddha is not there in that way. Is it there? I want to know that.
Good point. We'll discuss this again. Good. So before we go to Shraddha, I want to talk a little bit before we get into Shraddha. Yeah, it is whatever you expect is very, it goes a little too high for a lot of people, I'm sure. Hold on. Yeah, Shalini Mahodaya vadatu.
I just wanted to elaborate when you asked me this question, should one not question it? So when somebody here said Shraddha is faith, no, Shraddha is not faith, because faith can be blind. You can have blind faith. And Shraddha is different because it directs you in a very positive manner. There's only a very, very, I don't know Sanskrit well, but very, very small phrase that comes to my mind. I think it is in the 3rd or the 4th chapter. Shraddha something labhate jnanam. Only those with Shraddha. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. So it is not faith because faith can be blind. But Shraddha thing is something positive that wells up within your heart. With it is faith, but there is a quality above faith and devotion to it, and it is in some ways it is very positive. That's one thing I can say. I mean, I'm trying to look for the answer within, but when somebody said faith, so this what occurred to me when you said should we not question it? Yeah, Shraddha cannot be questioned because it is a drive, it is a kind of a purpose. Okay, I mean, that's about it. I can't think any deeper than that right now. Thank you.
Good. We'll elaborate on this. Good point. Bhavani Mahodaya vadatu.
Yeah, I mean, we all start off with belief systems, and then once that belief system, once we practice that belief system and we have anubhava, meaning, okay, this is really true, and then that's experiential, then it becomes Shraddha. Then that belief becomes Shraddha. So
what you're saying is it's basically an experiential thing.
Yeah, anubhava. Yeah, it's
anubhava. Yeah. And everybody's Shraddha is very individualistic. Everybody has their own Shraddha.
Correct.
Whereas faith is something that you say, okay, we'll talk about faith. Hold on,
faith is whatever. You start off with do's and don'ts, and then you fall into, okay, I believe in this. This is what the Shastra says. So that is Shraddha.
That is Shraddha. Okay, we'll start with that. Okay, good.
Acharya. Astha nishtha vishwasa iti. Shraddha.
Astha vishwasa.
Nishtha.
Nishtha. Okay. Good. That is yoga agamishan. Okay, everyone is good.
I feel, Acharya, translating Shraddha in English will be very difficult. Then again, we'll go by the, meanings that English derives. Right? Blind faith, and then we get into that domain.
Absolutely. Very interesting point. So, what I can gather from this discussion is everybody has experienced Shraddha, but cannot express Shraddha. Is that a true statement?
Yes, very much.
We all have experienced Shraddha at different levels, whatever levels we have experienced it, right? but we cannot express them very openly and say this. We cannot point to something. Uparathi we can point, or we can point to titiksha. Okay, look, have pain but don't suffer. I can point out and say, okay, this is titiksha. But if I were to say and point out, look, this is shraddha, it becomes difficult for all of us, right? Is that a valid statement? Fran Mahodaya agatavati. Bhavati vaktum ichchati va?
Namaste.
Namaste. What is shraddha? Any your thoughts on shraddha?
I think shraddha also has to do with a little bit of grace, and faith in something that you have tested, but like at the same time, it's like something that comes from your heart.
So essentially, you are agreeing with everyone, whatever everyone has said. The statement that I just made. We all have experienced it, but we can't express it.
Mahodaya. Mahodaya.
Let Fran Mahodaya finish. You wanted to finish something?
No, I just wanted to say that I think we are all here because of shraddha.
We are all here because of shraddha. That's a very strong statement. Right. Okay. Nagaprabha Mahodaya Bhavati Vadatu. Yes, we are all here because of shraddha.
Shraddha is a mixture of like bhakti and dedication.
Bhakti and dedication. That's what.
Yeah. Love and dedication mixture.
Preeti, Nishtha, Vishwas. Mrinali
Mahodaya, is it being steadfast in the service because of the reverence to the guru, or like it is being steadfast in the service, like
that is nishtha. That is nishtha and that is dedication. Nishtha. Mrinali Mahodaya Uktavati Idani Meva. That's what she said. She gave that beautiful definition. Ekavaram punarvaktum ichchati va? Mrinali Mahodaya.
Acharya, Nishtha, Nishtha, Vishwasa, and what was that other thing I said? Astha, Vishwas, Nishtha. Astha, Vishwas, and Nishtha.
Okay. Before we get to shraddha, I just want to make one detour. Okay. How many of us understand the concept of guna? Tattva, rajas, and tamas. Of course, those who have done Bhagavad Gita will know Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. But I'll just bring that concept in a little strong way. Shalini Mahodaya Bhavati Hastamuni.
You want me to explain that?
This one? Okay, take a 1 minute, you can take a 30-second explanation if you can make.
Okay. Yeah. So something really short and sweet would mean gunas means basically the attributes or characteristics that any person or thing can have. So sattva would be the gunas of purity, and linked, purity is the closest that you come to it, the word sattva. So everything and every person can have, anything or any person can have that attribute. For example, sages or rishis are supposed to, or somebody who does a lot of meditation could be said to possess the quality of sattva. Sattva in the sense that he will have specific attributes like he will be alert and not lazy, will have good thoughts, positive person. I'm roughly explaining it. So if it is a person, if it's a thing, for example, even among masalas, we have haldi and jeera as they're called sattvic masalas, because they do not cause any what we would say, swaying of the pendulum. I think that is the best way to describe these gunas. So if you are sattvic by nature, or even if the masala is sattvic by nature, it won't cause a swaying of the emotions. For example, if you have a lot of hot chilies, they will cause a peak and a dip. So that would be sattva. Rajasic would be something that would urge you to action. So kings, soldiers, they would have the quality of rajas, which would mean a lot of action, and of course, accompanied with it would be restlessness till you do not achieve a goal. So goal-oriented people have a lot of rajas, and like for example, garam masala is a spice that is supposed to have a lot of rajas. Then the quality of tamas. Tamas would be something that in food also has this guna. So stale food, deep fried food, food that causes you to be lazy. In a person, of course, it would be the quality of laziness and a lot of anger and negative emotions. So sattva, rajas, and tamas are attributes that are divided. I mean, yoga has it. And I think all our scriptures, in every which way you look at it, it's there. So yeah, thank you.
Good. So you explained it from a food concept, but let me take it as from where we actually are, and each one of us has some. You're absolutely right. Sattva has certain attributes. So let's just say Sattva has certain attributes, Rajas has some attributes, Tamas has some attributes. Okay. How do we find out whether we are Sattvic, Rajasic, or Tamasic? Is basically dependent on our thought process, the way it comes up. Okay. And that's where it originates. Basically, thoughts are what ultimately lead you to actions. Okay. So that is where it comes from. But it is also a function of your, I will just quote this shloka. Let's go from there and see where it goes. Okay. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashah. Tasya kartaram apima vidya kartaram avyayam. Okay. So this is from the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, very famous shloka. Krishna is saying this. So he is saying, these are certain categories that the varnas were created by me, and people as per their qualities are put in these varnas. So it's a function of two things, guna and karma. If I were to give a very, very modern day definition of guna, the nearest would be the gene pool that you get. That decides a lot of your inherent attributes. Whether you like it or not, that is true. Okay. The gene pool that you get, Gautam can explain it. Gautam, I think, is here. He can explain it at some point. He does a lot of work on nutrition. So, the gene pool that we come up with wherever we are born defines a lot of our characteristics of this sattva, rajas, and tamas that is there. So, it is very obvious. If you look at it, it's very common. In fact, if you look at a house that is full of, that is, coming with lot of energetic, active people all around all the time, it's very infectious. The child is automatically very active. It is not going to sit in some corner and crib. It is also very competitive. It is very running around and doing things. Right. So these are attributes that you get out of certain gene pool that has been taken in. Karma we have discussed in the past. We'll discuss karma at some other point again probably. But this is what it is. Okay. The gunas are made up of three, as Shalini Mahodaya beautifully explained. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Now, let me give a very good analogy that my guru keeps giving. So I will just I'll just pull up his slide. I didn't even create this slide myself. I just took it from him. So this is, if you look at this, everyone has a composition of sattva, rajas, and tamas. Now look at it as something like an RGB value. Everyone understands RGB? Anybody who does not know what is RGB?
I don't.
Okay, you don't. Okay. Okay, let me. Okay,
I also don't.
Okay, no problem. For those of you who don't know, I think I'll have to explain this a little differently. So, okay. I will open this Excel sheet. Everybody can see the Excel sheet here. Okay. Now there is a concept that all colors are a combination of three primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. Or rather, sorry, red, green, and blue. R, G, and B. They are called RGB. So what you see here, white, right? White will mean that it is a combination of all three at the highest hues. So let me show you this. This became yellow now. Let us say I go here and I go to more fill, go to custom. See, if it is yellow, it's a combination between 0 and 255. I can choose 256 combinations of red, 256 combinations of green, and 256 combinations of blue. So this is what is called RGB. If I make this 255, it will become white. Okay, if I go back again and say some random combination, this is only up to 255 scale, but I can make it infinite scale also. I can make it very continuous. Okay, let me just take, let me click here. 45, 5, 25, and 255. See, this is blue because there's a dominant blue here. Right, red and green are just very low. Now let me make this one, it became gray. Suppose I made this 125. You'll see this green dominates now. If I make green and red dominate, it will become a form of yellow with blue, low blue. If I make this, say, okay, what is it? I make it 245, 125, it becomes orange. So this is a concept of RGB. So take this similar concept. Varna actually means color. Varna in Sanskritam means color, nothing else. Okay. So all the colors are a combination of three RGBs. Similarly, that is the red, green, and blue. Similarly, if I were to go back to Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, these are the three combinations that make us the individual that we are. Right? So I can have a combination. If you say 100% is the end goal, I can make a combination of Sattva. I can have some percentage of Sattva, some percentage of Rajas, and some percentage of Tamas. Possible? The only catch is that the gradation in the RGB, you can have a gradation where there is no strict gradation. I can have any R can take any value, G can take any value, and B can take any value. Whereas in this, there is a strict gradation rule, which means that Rajas cannot be very high, very low, or very low, but Tamas being very high and Sattva being very high. That is not possible. There has to be a strict gradation in this. So if this is, say, for instance, if it is 10% and this is 30%, this has to be 60%. 30%, Rajas becomes 10% and this becomes 60%. So Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas go in a very linear fashion. A combination of these is what creates the four gunas, four varnas. Okay, guna and karma, chaturvarnya. Based on the karma, the gunas are chosen, and because of that, it comes as this. Okay, Neeleshwar gave a very good talk recently. He said, a lot of occupationally you are defining the Vaishyas and the Shudras, but you are characteristically attributing Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. So there is a gradation. If you go to the 18th chapter, you see that. What I forget the shloka, 40th, 41st shloka of the 18th chapter. If you look at it, it comes out very clearly. Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Shudrana cha parantapa karmani pravivaktani swabhava prabhavair gunaihi. Swabhava is what determines what they are. The swabhava that they bring in is what determines, is what he says. Okay. So, yeah. So this is what comes as Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Okay. Now with this background, forget this. Every one of us has some level of Sattva, some level of Rajas, and some level of Tamas. Correct? Everyone can appreciate this. Now, Shalini Mahodaya gave a very good example. It is also dependent on what you eat, how you eat, what you like, what you don't like, etc., etc., etc. The Krishna has devoted two full chapters on. One is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Then he comes to Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. I'll just talk about the reason I brought about this before we go to Shraddha will be very clear in a minute. So now let us see what is Shraddha. Okay, now we will define Shraddha. Because based on this, Shraddha will vary for each person. We just said that Shraddha is something that individually everyone has experienced, but nobody is able to express. Okay. So why is it so? That was the reason I brought this up. Yes, Nagaprabha Mahodaya vadatu.
I have a doubt, Mahodaya. So this when sattva is predominant, and is it rajas or tamas will be there? Like people, like yogis who do more of meditation itself, like they want to achieve some like samadhi, like that they will do long time meditation. At that time it will be more of tamas, I think.
No,
physically.
No. See, that's what last week, I think we had this discussion. There's a slight difference between tapas and sannyasa or meditation. We came up with that beautiful thing. Tapas is a rajoguna. You are forcing yourself to do something to attain certain things. Okay. Now, whereas when you're getting into a meditation that a yogi will get into, that will be a very sattvika guna where the expectation is very little. Okay. So, if you look at it again, you have sattva, high on sattva. That's where yogis will get into this brahmana category. Whereas people with a high rajasic guna who get into a lot of tapas, tapoguna, they get into the kshatraya varga, or sometimes even into this they do a lot of tapas. Rakshasas have done a lot of tapas, in fact. If you look at Kadamba and all these people, that kind of tapas is very different. They can do a lot of tamasic tapas as well. I want you to have this at the back of your mind because we are going to talk about Shraddha. And Shraddha can be in multiple forms. It can express itself in multiple forms. And each of these, please note, anybody with high dominance of any of these can express their Shraddha in their own way. It is not wrong to express that Shraddha. I'll just define, before we get to that, let's define what is Shraddha. Let's get to that Shraddha's definitions. Okay. Okay. You have Guru Upadishta Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha Shraddha. This is what Vedanta Sara gives us the definition of Shraddha. Now, it is a very, it is a very cryptic statement. It is not qualifying, it is not saying you do this yajna karma. If Veda is all about yajna karma and getting your things and everything, correct? It is not saying in Veda, whatever I give you as something, you should have Vishwasa. It is saying Vedanta Vakyeshu Brahma Vidapnoti Param Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. If you have Vishwasa in that is what is qualifying as Shraddha. Because we all understand that attaining that and understanding that concept of Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma is very difficult. Whereas with something like suppose I'm teaching you some skill. It is not saying teaching of a skill is Shraddha. Shraddha is being very beautifully being qualified here. Please note. Vedanta Vakyeshu Guru Upadishta Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha. So essentially it is saying, when the Guru is telling you some Vedanta Vakya, you believing that Vedanta Vakya is Shraddha. You taking that full shraddha, vishwasa in that is what is shraddha. It is not saying, as teachers, as we teach in various places, what is it that we try to develop? Two things. One is knowledge. The other one is skills. Correct? Now, both these knowledge and skills are verifiable. Do we agree? All forms of knowledge and skills are verifiable. The worldly knowledge, that is what is called the aparavidya. Blindly believing the teacher in that is not shraddha. But if I say, Brahma vidapnoti param, there is a Brahman. One who knows Brahma knows everything. Now, how many actually know Brahman? Now, that you need to have belief. You need to have a strong sense of saying, yes, I trust and I believe and I do everything. Okay. Satyam Dhanam Anantam Brahma. So if you go to the Taittiriya Upanishad, they'll give you that gradation of 10 to the power 21 states of happiness. Okay. So if I say that level of happiness is the ultimate level of happiness, contentment, not happiness, contentment and joy, as we discussed, to believe that and say, yes, I trust, I know that this is what it is. That is what he defines as shraddha. Okay. That is what is defined as shraddha. In Viveka Chudamani, he puts it down a little more detail. Eka nimsha, Nagaprabha Mahodaya. Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhya Avadharana Sa Shraddha Katita Sadvihi Yaya Vastu Upalabhyate. So he also talks about the same thing. Vastu Upalabhyate. Here Vastu is again meaning of Vedanta Sara. That is, Vastu does not refer to physical thing, getting some material things from somewhere. Vastu here refers to Atma Jnana. Getting that Atma Jnana, Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhya Avadharana. Getting it as the Guru has telling it to you. That Avadharana is Shraddha. Very, very detailedly given. So if you look at this, nowhere it says don't question, don't put out any questions or blindly accept. So as Shalini Mahodaya said earlier, blindly do not accept. That is one key difference. It means that you have that Vishwasa in Vedanta. If you are in the Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya, Satya Buddhya Avadharana. If you have that doubt, get it clear. But don't do it for the sake of, Vitandavada, what we call Vitandavada. Don't be a doubting Thomas. Blind doubting Thomas. That is what is being said. Nagaprabha Mahodaya.
Mahodaya. Guru something in the beginning, no? Guru Upadishta. That.
Guru Upadishta Vedanta.
What some in one Buddha quote I remember, don't just believe if it is written in a book. Don't believe that if some teacher tell you, you have to experience it before you believe or something like that. I remember. I think Buddha is Nastika, right? Nastika, this will come, right? They won't believe in the what Vedas say. They won't
Go on, complete your question and answer.
Vedas. Yeah. I think something like that. He says you don't believe in whatever written in some book or something. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, I do. Okay, you opened up a very big Pandora's box here. So I think we need a lot of answers before we get there. Hold on. Okay, so okay, she spoke about one term, Nastika. Other than Nagaprabha Mahodaya, anybody who can tell me who is a Nastika? No, not Sushila Mahodaya also.
Mahodaya.
One who does not believe.
Jayabala Mahodaya.
Yeah.
एकनिमिषं महोदय. उषा महोदय वदतु वा.
The one who they don't take the Vedas as the pramana.
Okay. जयबालाम्बिका महोदय भवती वक्तुम् इच्छति वा?
One who does not believe in God.
One who does not believe in God. Okay. Good point that you brought up. Vijaya Mahodaya?
One who does not believe in Vedas and God.
Vedas and God. Okay. We have three different now. Fantastic. So, okay. So, there is a difference between an atheist and a Nastika. Please understand that a Nastika is not an atheist. A Nastika is not an atheist. An atheist is someone who does not believe in the concept of God. Okay. There's a huge difference. Whereas, for us, what we have, and here again, Nastika is not someone who does not believe in Vedas, is also not true. For us, we have Astika, we have Nastika. And Astika is someone who believes in what is called, Sushila Mahodaya brought out one very important thing and she opened up another big thing. I said, no, we'll not get there. She said, Shabda Pramana, also on the first day. Okay. Now, Shabda Pramana means Veda as Pramana. Veda as proof of whatever is being said in Veda is true. Veda as a Pramana, as a proof. So, if there is anything and if it is in contravention to what is being said in the Veda, we'll reject that statement. A simple thing. Sun rises in the west. Veda say Purve Uttishtati. That is all. Okay. No. There are multiple ways. You can go see it, you call it east, you call it west. Somebody came and told me, why can't I call that as the west? Why should I call this the east? I mean, that is, that's a vada. Shalini Mahodaya, no. Nastika is not agnostic. Let me very, very clearly state that. What they don't believe is Nastika, they don't believe in Vedas as Pramana. It is not that they do not believe in Vedas. They'll use the same Vedas to get to do all the Yajna Karya, all the Yajnas, everything. But they will not believe that it is a Pramana. It is a form of proof. Okay. Now, Buddha said that Buddha was a Nastika. The Buddhist and the Jain Sampradaya or Nastika Sampradaya, because they do not believe that Vedas are Pramana. That is all. It is not that they are not Indic religions. They are very much Indic religions. They are very much originating from here. Just that they don't believe as Pramana and they fight over a lot of things. There is Shunyavada, Vedanta, they don't believe. There are lots of things there. We'll leave that out. That's for a different day, different time. We can get into it. But the Nastika Vada is only about Vedas are not Pramana. It is not a proof in it. And that is where Buddha came and said, don't believe in something written in the book. He did not say don't have Shraddha. He very clearly also said have Shraddha in me. I have experienced it, so believe me. He said that. You read all his preachings, he'll say, yes, dukkha, dukkha, dukkha. Believe me, the word is dukkha. That's what he says. So it went on. So it is there. It is not like Buddha did not advocate Shraddha. He did not advocate Vedas as Pramana. That's a different story. That's a very different story from saying, don't have Shraddha in me. For us, he also believes in Guru Upadishta. See, in this Vedanta, Veda is the ultimate form of God, that is the Brahman that we can experience. Buddha also said, I have experiences, so believe me. He said, don't believe the book, but believe me. That was an argument Buddha gave. Right? I have experienced it, so believe me, he gave that. Then he initiated people into, if you go to Vipassana is a Buddhist technique. He initiated people into that. Then you had all this lineage coming in, Mahayana, Bodhayana, and all these things went. Right? So, there, Shraddha is very important in Guru Upadishta Vedanta Vakyeshu. Now, Vedanta Vakyeshu can come from the Vedic source or it can come from the Buddhist source that Buddha himself is saying. Correct? That is Shraddha. So for us, we believe in Veda as Pramana. If Veda is Pramana, Purana is not Pramana, Samhita is not Pramana, Smriti is not Purana, Smriti is not Pramana, no, we don't believe that. But for us, Veda is Pramana. And I can give a lot of things around it. We can talk a lot of things around Vedas and everything, but we'll keep that for some other day. But for us, that is a very strong Pramana. We believe that Vedas are Pramana. That's where Vedanta Vakyeshu, Guru Upadishta Vedanta Vakyeshu, Shraddha, Vishwasaha comes in with it. So again, please.
అదే ఆ నియమ ఉంది అని ఎక్కుతుంది కదా.
So Guru Upadishta Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha Asta Vishwasa Nishtha Mrinalini Mahodaya Uktavati. This is where that comes in. So that is where again Nagaprabha Mahodaya, it is again Guru Upadishta. Please note, it is not written in the book and then you are reading the book and then Brahmavidapnoti Param. That is one. You have read it. But a guru who has experienced it has to explain it to you. That's why with anybody who is having Vedanta Chintana is usually taken from a guru. That's where guru becomes very important for us. That's why it is qualified. It does not say Vedo Likhita or Vedo Uddishta. It didn't say, Acharya Shankara never said anything of that sort. He said Guru Upadishta. And both the places he brings the concept of Guru. In Vedanta Sara as well as in Viveka Chudamani. Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhya Avadharana with the right way, understanding it in the right way. Okay. So that Sa Shraddha Katita Sadbihi Yaya Vastu Upalabhyate. Those by whom the Vastu, the Brahman has been seen, they define Shraddha as Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhya Avadharana. Getting the Tattva Sara in the right form is what is Shraddha. It never said don't question. Never said don't question. Shalini Mahodaya Vaktum Ichchati va?
No, sorry, it was my mistake.
Okay. So, another point that was made was that in Shraddha, okay, questioning. Yeah. So, as I was saying, in the Apara Vidya, what we talk about is mostly based on, experience. Either we are teaching knowledge or we are teaching a skill. That is easily verifiable in some sense. Even if I am giving a mathematical proof, it is easily somewhere verifiable. Whereas in Vedanta Vakya, in the Atma Vidya part, that is where you need a lot of Shraddha to believe. And you can question it in different ways. Okay. That's why Krishna also says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparaha sanyate indriyaha jnanam labdva param shantim achirenadi gacchati. This is what Shalini Mahodaya quoted earlier. Agyaha cha ashraddhadanascha samshayatma vinashyati. Na ayam lokaha asti na paraha na sukham samshayatma. Samshayam kartum. One who does not believe in this form of Shraddha, samshayatma vinashyati. Okay. So that's where Shraddha is a pure, very, very deep Indian concept to be experienced. Shraddha is by experience only. You cannot express it. It is not faith. So let me just compare and contrast. We brought a lot of statements around Shraddha and faith, right? So let me bring out that in a very deep form. How is Shraddha and faith different? Shraddha is a pure positive frame of mind. It gives a lot of strength and courage to face realities of life. Okay. Because you have somebody guiding you who has experienced it. That's how it comes up. Now, faith is according to modern beliefs, faith is an old concept, old construct with negative connotation. Blind faith. It has to be destroyed. Everything has to be questioned. Whether you like it or not, we should question it. That is this one which this faith takes. The pursuit of knowledge is possible only to Shraddha. Any scientist you believe, he'll keep on doing an experiment. Edison was the best example. After 1,000 trials, he said, okay, something, 1,000 things don't work for a bulb. Then he found tungsten and then came up with a great thing. Now that Shraddha, that yes, there is something which will help me light a bulb, is Shraddha. It is not something else. It is not faith. It is just that, there is that constant thing that yes, this will work. Because I have experimented, there are ways that this is working. This will hold on. Okay, this is what is Shraddha. Okay.
Can we say perseverance? Will it come near to it?
Perseverance. That's what Nishtha, no? Perseverance is not the right word. Nishtha. That's what Mrinalini Mahodaya Bahu Uttamam Dattavati. It is Asta Vishwasaha Nishtha. Okay.
No,
Now,
I mean,
faith,
as you said, in English, you can't have a correct word for it.
you cannot find the correct word. Absolutely. Yes. So faith in a lot of cases inculcates a fear and inferiority complex. See, that is where this one is very different. The Indic system of upasanas are very different. It is done with a concept of preeti. I don't want to use the term love because it is very misguided and very unwarrantedly used in today's context. With a lot of preeti and sadbhava. There is bhakti and shraddha are done with a lot of love and affection. It is not with a sense of fear or inferiority complex. Shraddha will inculcate a lot of, positive strength in you rather than inculcating or rather take away the fear. Is that what we have experienced through Shraddha?
Yes, yes.
Right. So this is another thing that comes out. Then its foundation on several tools and techniques could be used to improve our current knowledge. So we built on that current knowledge. So the simplest thing that I give about the Western and the Indian philosophy is, Galileo, when he questioned what was happening, Kepler and Galileo, they were jailed. They were put in a jail and then they were never allowed to talk about it, etc. Right? That is not the way we develop our knowledge system at all. You develop on whatever is existing. If you think that needs to go away, that needs to go away. Shankaracharya did that with a lot of debating. He put a lot of things into his hands there. Okay. So it works on only self-created yeah. This is, doubting Thomas's. I know everything, so I will keep questioning everything. Logical questioning, logically, blindly questioning everything. So logic, unfortunately, if you understand it right, logic needs a substratum of truth. Truth does not need any substratum. Truth can exist on its own. The sun rises in the east is a fact. You cannot say that, sun rises in the west. No, but I can keep on arguing. I can call it, why should I call it east? Where is it east coming from? That is mindlessly it can keep going. Okay. Then it's a raw material. Shraddha can act as a raw material for developing capacity to face the ups and downs of life. Whereas, if you start with a headstrong belief that, okay, this is what is right, there is nothing else which is right, then you get into a lot of quote-unquote wrong places. Probably you'll end up creating a lot of problems. Now here again, let's go back to this. In this, he says, Samshayatma vinashyati. Correct? Agyaha cha ashraddhadhanaha cha samshayatma vinashyati. Now, there is a concept of samshaya. That also comes up with anumana. Correct? Now, does it mean we can't question? No. The concept of shraddha, in fact, this is a very beautiful thing. How many of you have heard of Vachaspati Mishra? Pran Mahodaya has heard of Vachaspati Mishra. Very good. So Vachaspati Mishra was somebody who came in the Advaita lineage of Shankaracharya. He said, it is becoming a little difficult for people to understand. So let me write something on Acharya Shankara's works. Okay. Then he gets a doubt. What am I doing? Can I do it? Am I qualified to do it? That's the question he asked himself. So then that's a doubt. Now that is a samshaya. Am I qualified? Can I do this? So then he said, then he further asked this question: is this not Guru Vakyam, that same concept? Guru Upadishta Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha. Does this not violate this rule? He asked that question next. That means I don't have Shraddha in Acharya. Is it valid for me to take it up? That is the question that he asks. Then he goes back, does a swadhyaya and does a lot of manana, and then comes back that no, Shraddha allows me to ask question, create samshaya under a given framework. There's a framework under which you can create that samshaya. How do you do that? And that is what he brings up as what is called saprayojana and sandigdha. So essentially, it has to have an end. It has to have a good, righteous end. I should be very clear the end is going to lead me to that. And I'll accept whatever that end is. As in the case of, he gives the example of Acharya Shankara's Vada with Mandana Mishra, where Mandana Mishra at the end of it accepted sannyasa, said, Vedanta is right, and he came back. So that's saprayojana. And then sandigdha. I am not questioning Guru's Vakya, but I am questioning, I am trying to understand that in a better format. If it comes in that way, then you have that framework under which you can actually ask questions. So that is what Vachaspati Mishra comes and says, I'll triangulate this. Now, so that is the whole triangulation approach. Pancha Avaya. You have those various ways you can, what is this, how is this, then elimination. You have those so many ways of triangulation, something that has been put out. And then say, yes, this is the conclusion I arrive out of all these things. And this matches with whatever has been previously said. So we have to accept this. The triangulation method is very, very crucial with Shraddha. It goes hand in hand with Shraddha. Whereas here, it cannot. It goes into a, rhetoric statements. It can keep on getting into rhetoric statements with very, very little substratum of truth remaining. Right. So that...
then the concept of neti is what will lead that?
So neti is one form of triangulation, no? Netivada is, what is Netivada? Netivada is, this is not possible. This is not possible.
Negating.
Negating what is not possible. You negate everything that is not possible. That is there. That Netivada is there. Today, a lot of people use it. You keep on negating everything so that whatever finally remains is what is the truth. What is possible.
Yeah.
So all these are triangulation methods. Techniques are available. Lot of techniques are available, but you need to have that Shraddha and whatever is that truth, that substratum called truth. That baseline has to be drawn. Shraddha believes in drawing that baseline. Okay? Astu. Hope today's class was okay. Samprayojana. Saprayojana. So, saprayojana means that, you have the end goal should be clear. That is saying, I am going to, whatever I do is, let's say you are going with a statement that whatever I do is going to be for Loka Kalyana. You have to ensure that the Prayojana is only strictly Loka Kalyana and nothing else. Then you can start questioning, is this right? Is this being violated in some way? Is this being taken up in some way? That Prayojana, if the Prayojana is not clear, what is the problem with the modern woke culture, modern problem? The problem is that the substratum called truth is not accepted. That is basically, let's take the case of, simple case of gender fluidity that is happening so much and so on. See, the body has a bodily function. Nature has designed the body in some way. There is no way that you can change it. Correct? Do we all agree? That body function cannot be changed. That substratum of truth, if you are not accepting, that you are violating the concept of shraddha. Then you bring in a new argument that I'll change so many things, I'll do it, and I'll start accepting fluidity, and men will call themselves women, women will call themselves men, etc., etc., etc. Now, what is the end goal of this? Is there an end goal to this? There is no end goal. So that sub prayojana is violated. Yes, shall we,
Mohodaya, the people who profess to believe in this, they think that that is, I know it's woke and it's absolutely stupid, but people who advocate it say that this is the way they feel, and they are being true to themselves, authentic selves. I mean, I don't have any arguments, although I think it's basically stupid. But what do you have to say to that? People who say that they are being authentic to themselves.
Hold on. So, no. See, that is your feeling. Whatever you are feeling is one thing. Okay, let's keep that aside. Does that not violate your nature? Does that not violate your bodily function? You can feel 100 things. I can feel that, I can very well say, a dog can come and say, I feel like a human being. Does that violate the fact that it's in a dog's body? I'll give you many more examples. Why only that? See, there was a pravachana I used to attend once upon a time in near my house when we were in Mysore. Okay, a cow would come every day throughout the pravachana, in rain, shine, whatever. I've seen it come in very, very hugely pouring rain. It would come exactly at the time the pravachana would begin, sit there throughout, walk out the moment the pravachana was over, without disturbing, without doing anything. Does it mean I can call that cow a man, a human, a woman? There is a substratum, no? Yes, the cow was feeling. There was some feeling in the cow. Otherwise, the cow, and it came exactly for those 7 days. In fact, to the extent that we, in fact, even honored the cow. That's a different story. We did that. Does that change the substratum fact? The cow was feeling something, so it came there. Do we agree? Do we have to agree to that statement? That's a true statement. Otherwise, the cow would not have come. And I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. You'll see so many, in so many Ram temples, you'll see monkeys going in and taking one fruit and walking out. They feel something. Does it change the fact that it is not a monkey or it is not the cow? Can I start calling it a woman from tomorrow? Can I start treating it like a woman tomorrow? That cannot happen, no? So there has to be some level of, that's why logic needs the substratum of truth. I made that statement. Logic needs the substratum of truth. Truth can stand on its own. It does not need logical arguments to stand. Truth can stand on its own. Nature can show you enough things. Nature can show you enough ways to in form of truth. So that's very important. These are things that are various reasons why these are going on, but different story. Yeah. So hope that clarifies. Okay, good. Bhavani Vodaya. Last part, I think we are running late, so we'll have to close here.
Yeah, this is just a comment. With shraddha, one really has to develop some intuitive abilities. Otherwise, shraddha cannot be obtained. So whether it is paravidya or aparavidya, let's just say it's a laboratory procedure or a recipe you're following in a kitchen, you need to have that intuitive ability. Okay, this is working. Okay, let me try it again. So then you repeat and then it works. And then you get that shraddha. So it is the same with Shastras. Whatever is said in there, once you have the Anubhava, then yeah, shraddha is there. But you need that intuition. Otherwise, if you are just looking at it with black and white and not looking at the gray area, then it will take a long time to develop, but everybody will get there one day or the other.
So yeah, right point. I'll just give it with the corollary. My guru brings this up, so Mahadevan sir always brings this up. So I think it is very wise to tell it here. So let's say you are feeling unwell, or you find somebody who has had a heart attack or had something. You go to the doctor and he says, that person has had a heart attack. He needs to have some this one. Do you take it, or do you start investigating on your own and start doing a bypass surgery on your own? Correct? You need to have the shraddha of the person who is saying that. Otherwise, it is quite possible you can take things into your own hands and prove your point posthumously. That is shraddha. Now we have, similarly, in our Shastras, the way it has come is the Guru was supposed to be holding that position. Now we have diluted, we have gone into another extreme and done a lot of other nonsense. That's a different story. But that position was very strongly held. So that is where shraddha gets developed. And this shraddha, this has got nothing to do with logical arguments. Right? You can't go and start logically arguing. Why are you going to open it from this point? Why are you going to insert this stent from the thigh? Why can't you open the heart? And we are not an expert as a doctor. We are not qualified to do that. There are certain things that come with a qualification. So that shraddha better be there. And in an intuitive sense, this is another example that he keeps giving. A child. The child has surrendered to the parents. It goes out running on the street all around. It's the parents' problem to figure out what to do. It has 100% shraddha in the parents that they will take care of me. Suppose the child, you try this experiment. If you have ever played around with children, please try this. The moment it trusts you, the child will start doing all sorts of nonsense and start playing and being naughty and everything. The moment you walk away, the moment it senses that the elder is not present around for it to be taken care by, it will come and sit in a corner. Parents are not around, it will probably start crying. Correct? Everyone has experienced this. That is shraddha. It is not logically arguing. The child is not logically arguing here. Correct? Astu. Samapayama. Dashanimisha adhikam abhavat. Idani. We didn't see a shloka today. Next week we'll continue with Bhaja Govindam and bring something small. Hope this format is okay with everyone. Yeah? Any comments on the format we are doing? We are taking certain keywords and doing this in detail. We'll get into very detailed stuff. Okay. So if you have anything, you can always ping me or write to me or do whatever. Given that we are not doing it for any exam or any specified syllabus, I thought we can do a little more detailed stuff on getting into each of the shlokas and come up with each words and learn a lot of things. Astu. Dhanyawadaha. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaः, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om. Shri Krishna arpanamastu. Shri Guru Charanamstu. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Dhanyawadaha.
Acharya.
Dhanyawad.
Ah.